He thought her love was real, until the night her laughter echoed through a TikTok live. Not for him, but for someone else. One click shattered years of trust and his world went silent. But what if heartbreak isn't the end, and what if it's the start of something truer? This is the story of a man who learned the painful truth behind public affection and the private betrayal hidden behind the screen. Will he forgive, or will he finally choose himself? Ethan never liked social media much. He wasn't the type to post selfies, chase followers, or scroll through endless live feeds at 3 a.m. But when Mia started streaming on TikTok, he told himself it was harmless. Just something she enjoyed, something creative. "It's just for fun, babe," she'd laugh, brushing a strand of hair from her face as her phone light glowed on her cheeks. At first, it really was fun. She'd dance to trending songs, talk to strangers about coffee and dreams, and sometimes ask Ethan to wave from the background. He'd smile awkwardly, play along, then go back to his sketches. But as weeks passed, her streams grew longer, and so did the distance between them. Dinner got cold more often. Her eyes were always on her phone. Every good night came with the soft glow of her ring light. One night, Ethan stayed up sketching by the window. Mia said she was going live for just half an hour. But 2 hours later, laughter echoed from her room, and that soft, sweet laugh he hadn't heard in days. He walked closer quietly, his curiosity tugging at him. The screen lit up her face. Virtual roses and gifts floated across it. But what froze him wasn't the hearts. It was the name in the chat. King Z Official, sending gift after gift worth hundreds. Mia giggled and said, "Stop spoiling me, baby, I'll fall in love with you." Ethan's breath caught. For a moment he thought he misheard. Maybe it was a joke, maybe it was just part of her stream. But then she smiled, the kind of smile she used to save for him, and whispered softly, "You always know how to make me feel special." His pencil fell to the floor. The chat exploded with laughing emojis and hearts, while Ethan stood there invisible, watching his girlfriend flirt with a stranger, and the whole world cheering her on. He didn't say a word that night. He simply closed the door, walked out into the cold, and for the first time, realized what it felt like to lose someone without them even knowing. The next morning felt different. Too quiet, too heavy. Ethan sat on the couch, his sketchbook open but untouched. The lines didn't make sense anymore. His hand kept shaking every time he thought of the words, "Stop spoiling me, baby." He could still hear her voice echoing in his head, soft, teasing, and meant for someone else. Mia walked into the room around noon, her hair tied up, wearing Ethan's hoodie like nothing had happened. "You didn't sleep?" she asked casually, scrolling through her phone. Ethan just shook his head. "Long night," he murmured. She smiled faintly. "Yeah, the stream was crazy. We hit 10,000 viewers. Her excitement stabbed him deeper than any confession could. It wasn't guilt on her face, it was pride. She was proud of the moment that broke him. Ethan wanted to ask why, but his throat tightened. Instead, he reached for her phone when she placed it on the table. One glance, just one, and the comments burned into his eyes. "King Z and Mia look so cute together. That girl's already taken by the king. Her boyfriend must be crying, Arn." His hands trembled. The emojis mocked him. He looked up at her, but Mia didn't even notice. She was humming softly, texting someone, smiling at every notification that popped up. Finally, he whispered, "Mia, who's King Z?" The silence that followed was deafening. She looked up, hesitated, then forced a laugh. "He's just a supporter, Ethan. Chill. He's like a fan." "Fans don't call you baby," Ethan said quietly. Her expression shifted, not guilt but irritation. "It's just for the camera. You don't understand how social media works. It's harmless flirting. It keeps the engagement up." He stared at her, stunned. The woman he loved was defending betrayal as content. "Do you even realize what that looks like?" he asked. She sighed and rolled her eyes. "You're overreacting again. You always make things dramatic. This is why I don't tell you everything. You can't handle it." Ethan felt something inside him snap. Not anger, just emptiness. He didn't shout, didn't cry. He simply got up, took his jacket, and said the words that terrified her more than anything. "Maybe I shouldn't be part of your story anymore." And then he left quietly, just as her next live stream notification pinged on her screen. For 3 days, Ethan vanished. No texts, no calls, not even a single seen mark on her messages. At first, Mia didn't care. She thought he was being dramatic again. "He'll come back when he cools off," she told herself, laughing it off to her chat. But by the 4th night, that laugh started to sound hollow. Her live stream wasn't the same without him in the background. She didn't realize how often she used to glance at him, how his quiet presence gave her chaos a strange balance. Now every time she looked past the ring light, there was just an empty chair and a silence that followers began to notice. "Where's your boyfriend? Did you break up for real?" Kingsley should replace him anyway. The comments used to thrill her. Now they stung. She forced a smile, pretending not to care, but inside, the truth was beginning to ache. That night, she ended her stream early and checked her messages again, but still nothing from Ethan. But as she scrolled through her DMs, one message stood out. It wasn't from Ethan, it was from Kingsley. Kingsley official. "He finally left, huh? You don't need him anymore. You're trending because of me." Her chest tightened. Something about his tone felt wrong, possessive, cold. She replied quickly, "It's not like that. He's just mad. It's personal." A few seconds later, another message popped up. "Personal? You went public the moment you called me baby in front of 10,000 people. Now you belong to the internet, Mia. Don't forget who made you famous." Her blood ran cold. She stared at the screen, unsure if it was a threat or a game. But before she could reply, a link arrived. "Watch this." She hesitated, then tapped. It opened a short video, her own live stream cut and edited, but twisted. The captions read, "Mia, the girl who betrayed her boyfriend for money." Millions of views, thousands of comments, and her own voice laughing, saying, "Stop spoiling me, baby." Mia dropped her phone. Her fame had turned against her. And somewhere, she knew Ethan had already seen it. Maybe he was the one who leaked it, maybe not. But one thing was clear. The internet that once adored her now wanted her destroyed. The morning after the video went viral, Mia woke up to chaos. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Hundreds of notifications, thousands of mentions. At first, she thought maybe she was trending again, but when she opened her feed, her heart dropped. Her comments were full of fire and venom. "Gold digger. You deserve to lose everything. Poor guy, he loved you for real. This is why no one trusts influencers." Each message hit harder than the last. Her followers had turned into strangers with knives. The people who once sent her hearts were now throwing hate. Her brand deals started disappearing one by one, due to reputational concerns. She tried to call Kingsley, no reply. She sent a dozen messages, all left unseen. When she checked his profile, he had posted a video too, a smug, smiling face with the caption, "Never trust a girl who loves your gifts more than you." The comment section was full of laughter. He had betrayed her publicly, the same way she betrayed Ethan. Mia stared at the screen, her hands trembling. The same ring light that once lit her dreams now illuminated her downfall. She thought about deleting everything, her account, her videos, her name, but it was too late. The internet never forgets. Then among the flood of hate, one message caught her eye. It was from an unknown account. Art by, "I told you, Mia, the world doesn't break you in silence. It breaks you where everyone can see." Her breath hitched. It was Ethan. His words were quiet, almost kind, but they cut deeper than any insult online. For the first time, she cried. Not because the world turned against her, but because she finally realized why he had walked away. The fame she chased had burned everything. Her love, her dignity, and now her peace. And as the tears blurred her vision, the screen lit up again. Her next notification wasn't a comment. It was a live request, one from Ethan. For a long time, Mia just stared at the notification. Her finger hovered over the screen, trembling. "Ethan is going live and wants to invite you." It felt unreal. After days of silence, guilt, and humiliation, he wanted to face her, not in private, but in front of everyone. Her heart pounded as she clicked accept. The screen split into two. On the left, Ethan sat in a dimly lit room, tired eyes, unshaven face, calm but broken. On the right, Mia, the girl who once sparkled on camera, now looked small, hollow and afraid. The viewers flooded in instantly. Is this real? They're live together. This is gonna be wild. Mia swallowed hard. "Ethan," she whispered. He didn't answer at first. His silence filled the stream heavier than any words. Then he said quietly, "I didn't go live to expose you." "Mia, the internet already did that." Her eyes filled with tears. "Then why?" Ethan looked straight into the camera. "Because I want people to know what betrayal really looks like. Not just what it costs, but what it does to a person." The chat slowed. The laughter stopped. For a moment, everyone just listened. He continued, voice trembling slightly. "When you called him baby, I didn't hate you. I hated myself for believing that love could survive behind a screen. I thought what we had was real. But maybe the world doesn't let love stay real anymore. Mia shook her head, crying. I never meant to hurt you. I just wanted to feel seen. I wanted to feel like I mattered. Ethan sighed softly. You always mattered, Mia, just not to the people sending you gifts. The viewers began to fill the comments with hearts, not pity, but silence and reflection. For once, the stream wasn't about fame or drama. It was about truth. Mia whispered, Do you hate me? Ethan looked away, then back. No, he said, tears finally breaking through. But I can't love you anymore either. The connection lagged for a second. Her image froze, tear-streaked, broken, before she ended the live abruptly. For the first time, Ethan didn't stay to watch what happened next. He closed the app, turned off his phone, and stepped outside, into real light, real air, and a world that finally felt honest. The live stream ended, but its echo didn't. For days, social media buzzed with clips of their confrontation. Millions watched, millions commented, and millions judged. But unlike before, Mia didn't reply, didn't defend, didn't go live again. Her profile went dark. No new videos, no stories, no sign of her. The internet moved on as it always does. But Ethan didn't. He wasn't angry anymore, just quiet. He'd deleted every photo of them, not out of hate, but because he didn't want his healing to live next to his pain. The apartment felt bigger without her laughter, but also calmer without her chaos. Sometimes he still caught himself looking at his phone when it buzzed, half expecting her name to appear, but it never did. Then one morning, while sitting at his art desk, he found a small brown envelope slid under his door. No return address. Inside was a note, shaky handwriting, tear-stained paper. You were right. The world doesn't break you in silence. It breaks you where everyone can see. I'm leaving it all behind. Maybe someday I'll learn how to love without an audience. Thank you for showing me what real meant. Mia. Ethan read it twice. Then he folded it gently and placed it inside his sketchbook. The same one he had dropped the night she called someone else baby. He looked out the window as the morning light spread across the sky. For the first time in months, he smiled. Not because he was happy, but because he was finally free. He picked up his pencil again, opened a new page, and began to draw. Not her face this time, but a silhouette walking away from a glowing screen, into the sunrise. And under it he wrote the words that had defined his story. Some love stories don't end. They fade quietly so we can begin again. Time has a strange way of softening even the sharpest memories. Months passed since that live stream, since Ethan's heart broke in front of millions, since Mia vanished from the world she once lived for. But pain, like art, changes shape. It doesn't disappear. It becomes something else. Ethan's sketches had grown different now, softer, deeper. His lines no longer screamed of heartbreak. They whispered stories of quiet strength. One of his drawings went viral, a simple sketch titled, Offline Love. It showed a girl turning off her phone as a man behind her smiled, holding a paintbrush instead of a camera. People didn't know it was about him. They didn't know it was about her. They just felt it. He started receiving messages, not from followers, but from strangers who had been through the same kind of betrayal, people who'd been broken by digital love. Your art helped me heal, they wrote. Ethan never replied with words, only with more drawings, because that's how he spoke best. One evening, as the sun sank behind the skyline, Ethan walked to the bridge where he used to meet Mia after her streams. He leaned on the railing, closed his eyes, and let the wind carry away everything that once hurt. He didn't hate her anymore. In some quiet way, he even thanked her, because losing her had taught him the most powerful lesson of all. Real love doesn't need an audience. When he opened his eyes again, he smiled softly to himself and whispered, Maybe letting go isn't about forgetting. Maybe it's about forgiving. The city lights flickered on below him, and somewhere in that glow, a new story waited to begin. One not written for views, not for followers, but for truth. And with that, Ethan walked away, his heart lighter, his world quieter, and his art finally free.